Good morning, everybody. Very excited to be heading into episode 12 of the first season of The Sopranos. It looks like we have two episodes left, and the tension between Junior and Tony looks like there's going to be possibly an assassination attempt on Tony. Mikey's kind of orchestrating. So this can't be great. I don't know what this is going to look like, if Junior's going to come to his senses, how this gets called off, what gets exposed moving forward. I've kind of compared this a little bit, in terms of the family dynamics kind of getting muddied and mixed in with the empire dynamics of the show, kind of Shakespearean. But thinking about it this week, I was like, this really more, after this last episode at least, reminds me of Camelot, and that we kind of have with Tony and Junior, we kind of have Arthur and Lancelot a little bit, both just trying to make this thing work, right? This ideal thing that they've built. They just want it to work, but they have this one glaring flaw. Um, in Camelot, it's both of them love the same woman, and everyone around them kind of exploits that to push them towards a war that they don't want, but ultimately ends up happening anyway and destroys the whole thing. And we're kind of there with Tony and Junior, right? Ever since Junior's been anointed, Tony and he have kind of gotten along really well. Not only that, but they've kind of defended each other to other people when the topic's not around. So everything was going well, but there was just, people know Mikey and Olivia, especially with Junior, really know how to push his buttons and make him feel defensive and insecure. And that's kind of where we're at heading into this episode, right? They finally managed to manipulate Junior to the point where he is going to at least consider. It sounds like he's there, taking a shot at Tony. And then what the repercussions of that are going to be. The only thing I can say for certain is, obviously, we're in season one. I don't think Tony's going to die. He may get hurt. Junior may call it off. The assassination attempt may be thwarted by Tony or one of his guys. It's hard to say, but it could get really ugly moving forward. I think since this is the penultimate episode and not the final episode, it's just going to escalate. So I think there may well be in this episode either an attempt on Tony, or Tony becomes aware that there's going to be, and everything kind of blows up in the next episode. So this might be a setup episode. Who knows with this show? It's been remarkably unpredictable so far in the best way. So I'm excited to get into it. We do want to go and thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here, and I would like to give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Foldes, Chris, Jeff, NJ, Surya Gundavarapu, and Weird Magic. Thank you so much, guys. Really happy you're here with us. If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out the link in the description of our Patreon page on every show, including The Sopranos. We are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon if we're on YouTube, so if you'd like to keep going, you can do it on our Patreon page. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You will only see and hear me for copyright purposes. Apropos of nothing, as all of this builds, and I hope all of it gets diffused, I think there's one person who's definitely not long for this world. It's Mikey. I don't know why I have that feeling, but I feel like Mikey's living on borrowed time at this point. I don't think Tony's going to I don't think he's going to kill his mom if he finds out his mom was behind this. I don't think Junior will if Junior finds out, she figures out that she's been pushing him. But Mikey might be in trouble. Also curious to see how this changes the show moving forward, because this is going to create a whole new reality for the characters in the show. It's possible Junior dies. I don't know how long Junior's on the show.
Just want you to know, I always thought you had that right too. You know?
Jimmy, let me tell you something. Don't worry about what I know.
So does Junior know that he's the rat? Tony definitely does.
Oh, I told Liliana to put some jam boat in the microwave for you when you get up. Oh, well, Tony, how are you fixed for sweat socks? We're going to be right by the Sports Authority.
Is he not picking up on this?
Tony, I know you're in there. I know you hear me.
Will you let me sleep?
Does your lady therapist know about this? Maybe you need more medication.
God, the lady thing is still bothering her.
Got a lot on my mind.
Oh, really? Well, move over then.
Camilla, come on.
Sunlight is good for people, Tony. In Alaska, they wear these little light hats in the winter so they don't get depressed.
Is that true? I've never heard that. Seasonal effectiveness is sort of the real thing.
Well, the meeting's adjourned at the Green Grove. Chucky and I spoke to Donnie P, and the thing, it's happening tomorrow.
Is this Tony tomorrow?
It's going down on a newsstand that he goes to by the medical center.
Junior might call it off.
I promise.
Enough. I don't want to hear any more. Jesus, Michael, if I delegate, I delegate.
Mikey is just a talker. He just cannot shut up.
Is Gumar either? don't want to hear no more talking about pussy.
I'm curious if he's feeling guilty because he feels like he inadvertently got him killed.
Don't do nothing about Jimmy.
Really?
I don't even know if he's the guy that flipped. I don't know nothing no more.
Yeah, Tony's confidence is completely gone.
T-Pussy probably freaked out and he's lambing it, that's all.
That's possible.
You going somewhere, T? You want me to drive you?
No.
I usually drive you.
Going downstairs.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, he's actually worried about him. That's really sweet. I don't usually think of Christopher as a sweet guy, but that was a nice moment.
You're from Italy, aren't you?
My English is beautiful.
No. You speak very good.
Better than Tony. Yeah.
Well, if my dentist looked like you, I'd stay awake doing a root canal.
God.
Thank you for bringing me... Come si dice? Biancheria. I don't know how to say in English.
Well, that makes two of us.
Yeah. Man, he is not subtle when he's into a woman, is he? Just in his face. This looks creepy. I wonder if they're going to try to make the hit on Tony and Christopher ends up saving his life because he's following him. That would be really cool. Oh my god, they are right there. This is going to blow up. Going to therapy. He goes in through the donut shop. That's interesting. I never wondered that is how we kind of snuck in. People kept losing him.
Sorry, some civilian got in the way of something. Donnie will explain it to us.
Christopher just saved him without even knowing it.
What did I just say? I already talked to him. I realize it's urgent. I hear Tony Yes's own mother wants him popped.
Oh my god.
Next, they be making jokes about me.
Tell him to wait a minute.
They're going to kill this guy?
Donnie!
I think he is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't feel bad for that guy. He's a dirtbag, but this just all seems so out of control. It's like the end of a Scorsese movie.
I don't feel nothing. Nothing. Dead. Empty.
I don't think it's the drugs.
I'm not a father to my kids. I'm not a friend to my friends. I'm nothing.
These realizations are good.
Someplace where you could be looked after.
Maybe like a hospital? With the padded rooms and the straitjackets? You got any idea what my life would be worth if certain people found out I checked into a laughing academy?
That's true.
I'm going to push the Prozac to 60 milligrams.
Sure, why not?
He's a pro because this would be really frustrating, you know? You have to deal with defensive people, but he takes it up to 11.
Is still there a beautiful palazzo, Palazzo della Dogna. And there is a place in the corner of Della Piazza.
I'm still wavering on whether or not this is all really happening. This has also just seemed too perfect for him, and he's so out of it.
And when it's spring, you can smell the blossom from the lemon tree.
Of course, she knows details. He probably wouldn't, so what do I know? Yeah, she very much represents escape for him, but...
Okay. Tony!
See, I'm wondering, did he ever actually leave? Except maybe for therapy?
You know, I really don't need that right now, Ma.
Oh, aren't we being sensitive?
This woman's sitting having dinner with him when she's trying to get her son killed. She sucks so much.
My son's in a bathrobe. Is he sick?
He's fine.
Dad, you're depressed.
Depressed? My father came to this country.
I hate her so much.
Ma, we all agreed we would sell you home.
I'm going back upstairs.
I was making a joke.
It's not funny.
Oh, this is really the last time. I am never coming back to this house.
I hope that's true.
What a day with this wind, huh? What you looking at?
Oh, nothing.
She's gonna look. Just say there's some lady out there.
Who's she?
Little student. From Italy.
Okay, so she's definitely there.
You are sinking this whole family into your misery with your wallowing and your complaining.
I kind of agree with her.
Better Kiki had died than go on living like that. That's what his own mother always used to say.
Talk about her anymore. I don't want to hear about her anymore.
Yes, Olivia, she's going to kill Tony, so shut up. She's still pushing.
Go away.
Okay, mister. Miss Carmela told me to remind you of your appointment.
This would be a hard man to work for. It's like a normal person, like this poor housekeeper. Just when they try it. Oh my god, they are.
Oh my God, Tony, are you all right? Is he all right? Jesus Christ, Tony.
Daddy, your ear's all bloody. What'd they do to your ear?
Okay, I was I was wondering what the story was going to be with, like, he had the guy's gun and there was two guys in the street.
Doctor needs to finish up here, ma'am.
All right, come on, kids. Let's give the doctor some room.
Okay, well, if you're wondering if Tony's still capable, even in his diminished state, the answer is yes. And that guy with a terrible shot, they both were. Same thing.
You people can't wait till I finish all my ear back on?
Face it, Tony. 1 inch to the left and you're down in a drawer instead of talking to me.
Who's talking to you?
We're offering your husband full immunity from prosecution in return for any testimony that he might give us.
Execution for what?
Ask this prick if I'm even indicted.
This assassination problem is not going to go away. I think both of you realize that.
Yeah, is he already? Does he already know that it's Junior? Oh, he thinks it was a carjacking. Come on. I thought he was trying to calm them with the carjacking story, but he believes it.
What's gonna happen?
Wake up, Tony. It already did.
Yeah.
Eat some tomatoes that have no taste.
You know what I want, Tony? I want those kids to have a father.
They got one. This one.
I can't tell what he thinks he knows and what he's just saying to diffuse. Like, does he know? Does he put it together that it isn't a carjacking?
Gangland execution gone awry. Soprano escaped with minor wounds and was taken to an undisclosed...
I thought both of these two are sweating it.
Is this true?
Why, do you think they made it up?
But
Oh my God, these two.
Olivia, you understand what's going on here?
my son got shot and he got away.
What do we do now?
Okay, so they know that.
He's my only son.
Like, what? She seemed really upset at the he got away part.
Yeah, I was in the neighborhood.
What are you doing there?
Taking my mother to the doctor.
Oh.
Good, quick answer there.
Can he hear through that ear?
Ma, sit down.
What you
Here you go.
got?
Have something to eat.
Give me one.
Is this gonna work? He's definitely not suspecting his mother at all.
I can't go.
Why not?
Do you need me to stay here?
And disappoint the future Miss New Jersey? Did you ever tell anybody about you and me?
I may have mentioned something to my immediate family that I had a patient.
She's very honest.
My mother's made a few comments, but I don't see how she knows. And if she did, hey, don't even go there about the old lady.
Yes, he should. Muffy's the only one with the brain in the situation.
To tell you the truth, I feel pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Talk about a jolt to the system.
That's true.
What the hell is going on, Olivia?
Thank you.
You don't even recognize your granddaughter?
Yeah.
I've been forgetting things lately.
Oh, this is all an act.
You'll find that it'll happen to you soon, too.
That's terrific timing. Right
That's
after the
what I thought.
move on your son goes in the toilet.
Well, at least Junior put it together.
You didn't have an Italian girl. She's here studying the...
We had Skippy Palumbo from down the street come into the house to take care of the dog.
She seemed too perfect, you know.
You sure about this? You're not pulling my leg.
What am I, an idiot? Of course I'm sure.
It's a weird... Because she seemed very ethereal, but at the same time, she knew details, and Carmela had that conversation. It seemed real. It threw me off.
I think you should come in so we could talk face to face.
I can't right now.
You know, your mother is always talking about infanticide.
Yeah, she'd mentioned it at dinner. Yeah. It's inevitable that he's going to find out it was Junior. The question is, does he find out if it's Olivia, too? But like I said, and I'm sure we're in the same boat, no one buys that, right? No one buys that all of a sudden I'm forgetting things at the perfect moment I'm about to be caught for instigating the assassination of my son. Oh, I just forget everything. I'm just a confused woman. Like everything with her, it's calculated, it's a ploy, and it's self-serving. I know I've already made this point, but I cannot help but reiterate how much I absolutely detest Olivia. She is an extreme... she's a terrible mother. She's an extreme version of every bad mom in the world, kind of rolled into one person. And you know, maybe you can say, oh, well, she had to be because of the life that she came into, marrying a gangster, then raising a gangster's kids who also grew up to be, at least one of them grew up to be a gangster. I don't know. But I'm having a really hard time feeling any empathy towards her. I think she's just genuinely a selfish, self-serving, detestable, manipulative person. I mean, she's not feeling any guilt, right? That's pretty clear that in the assassination attempt of her son that failed, like, she even let it slip when it happened, like, they tried to kill him and he got away, and I feel like it was the second part there that was really worrying her, the fact that it didn't work and Tony got away. So now she's going into the addled old woman character that she's putting on to make herself more sympathetic, but also has greater chances of deniability of being a culprit. Junior seemed to have felt some guilt at some point. Maybe. Actually, I don't know if it's guilt or just simply the fact that he's freaking out that it didn't work. And now Junior's very much at risk, right? He went over with Olivia and played concerned family. And that seemed to have really worked on everybody. But it didn't work on me. I'm sure it didn't work on any of you. And I think it's a question of time. And I'm hoping that when he goes and talks to Dr. Melfi that they have that conversation. Because it's very much, it looks like they're going to talk about his mother. I don't know how that, if it's possible that extrapolates into Tony realizing his mother is, the extent to what a monster his mother is. But if nothing else, Melfi can say, you clearly don't feel like you actually have a mother. You're making up fantasies replacing her with an imaginary person. You, you don't have a parent. And, the fact that she always does talk about infanticide. She threatened to kill the kids when they were little. And in this episode, the woman, what's going on in the world, the woman, shot her 3 kids and set the house on fire. She talks about it an awful lot. So, killing her kids always seems to be on the brain. I don't know. I don't know how long she's on the show, and I don't know what it's going to look like when and if Tony finds out. I don't think we can go through the entire show without Tony, at least on some level, maybe through therapy or maybe through somebody spilling something, figures out what his mother actually is and what she's actually doing. I think it's going to be tough when it happens, but at some point, I think he's on the show. He's going to come to terms with that. I don't know if it's soon. It may be 3 seasons down the road, right? This may be a thing that kind of continues. Look at some of the I know I use the example a lot, but it's a show I love. Some of the long plays that were used on Game of Thrones, right? Things set in motion in a season that don't get really resolved, paid off, or pieced together for sometimes several seasons. Breaking Bad did the same thing, right? Some things set in motion that don't actually find their resolution or payoff for several seasons down the road. And we could see that with Tony's mother, right? This may be a thing that everything blows over, and the poor addled, feebled, forgetful mother, is completely cleared out of Tony's mind as a potential suspect, and Junior's not. But she gets away with it, and it may take years and more horrible behavior from her down the road before Tony finally lets it into his head that this woman is not the sweet old lady he keeps saying that she is. I mean, Carmela, even an episode or 2 ago, called her out and stop playing the victim. We all see what you're doing. Yeah, obviously everybody but Tony. Even though she again let that conversation in with crying and everybody hates me, which is seems to be her go-to move. I'm just a sweet old lady, and maybe I shouldn't be around anymore. And I wish the Lord would take me. And that seems to be her go-to shut down the conversation when somebody's actually calling me out for my misdeeds and my bad behavior. Oh, why does everybody hate a poor sweet old woman? And I don't know. That there's that lizard brain part of me that wants her to get her comeuppance really soon, and then there's the narrative fun of having her there, and the problem that she is that I kind of liked it. I think the payoff is better down the road, like in Game of Thrones when some things didn't get paid off for several seasons or many episodes. So you have that build to it, and then the satisfying resolution of not rushing it. I know, ironic given the last season of that show, but at least in the early seasons of not rushing to get to that resolution narratively, and I kind of hope we do that, even though I can't stand it. I will catch you next one, guys.